Hello and welcome CHRM220 students to Workplace Health, Safety and Wellness as part of the Adult Learning HR curriculum at SFU. Welcome. My name is Lyne Moussa and I'm excited to be your course instructor for the next 8 weeks for a topic that is so important and a topic that I'm extremely passionate about. So I'm hoping that that passion will transfer and together we will make the world a safer place. Let me tell you a little bit about myself in terms of my background and how I got to be here. I originally graduated in biology and my intention was to go into pharmacy, and life had a little bit of a different plan for me. So I landed in the world of corporate. And once I moved up into management, I had a lot of conversations with HR, as managers do. And I questioned a lot of the policies and the practices because I needed to understand the why behind what it is that I was expected to do. Ultimately, that landed me in doing my own adult education HR diploma. And I had a lot of questions answered through that process. And what really screamed very loudly to me at the time, again, maybe because it's my relationship with biology and my passion for people health, was the fact that without healthy employees, we don't have a productive workforce. And we can talk about all of the corporate strategy and we can, think big and we can hear about where we're going and what we want to accomplish. We can talk about bonuses and we can talk about succession planning. But if people are not healthy, if people do not feel safe, then not much of that's really going to happen. And so fundamentally, this is a really critical role that we have to make the safety of employees come to life and to support their health and well-being. So the history of occupational health and safety is quite fascinating because it was initiated really with workforces that had high physical labor. And the reason for that was because when an employee was injured, then there was no recourse for them if they needed health support and financial support, but to sue the employer. And so fast forward, a legislation is formed and all employers are required to participate by paying into this insurance for occupational health and safety. And what it did was it was a real balanced approach because it covered the employee, meaning that they would have an insurance in the event that they were injured in the workplace, but it also covered the employer because they too now would not be sued. They were proactively paying into the insurance by requirement, but it did protect them in the event, in the unfortunate event that an employee was injured. What it did, though, is it got deeper in terms of the requirements and the expectations, and the legislation started to mandate certain programs and policies of the employers. And so this progressed over time and continued to progress as, of course, unfortunately, injuries occur, then the new rules come to play. I always say, you know what? A stop sign is not going to go up at the corner until, unfortunately, a tragic accident occurs. So the evolution is extraordinary because it's gone from being a very reactive support system to a very proactive expectation to either eliminate or mitigate any type of injury in the workforce. And furthermore, it's come much further because it now covers psychological health and safety as compensable. So where it was once based on physical injuries alone, it's now inclusive of psychological injury. And we see that in the legislation that mandates policies and procedures around workplace bullying and harassment. And that landscape continues to evolve as well. So you'll learn to really appreciate how the baseline of any workforce is its employees and the critical role that we have in occupational health and safety and employee well-being, in effective disability management to really make that workforce feel safe, secure, and engaged enough to then be productive. I want to mention too that as you're going through the course, keep in mind that the legislations, they are provincial for provincially regulated organizations. And for federally regulated organizations, it falls under federal legislation. But regardless of what legislation it is, the regulations are non-prescriptive. So when they say that you have to have policies in place to prevent workplace injury, you need to be able to recognize what the potential injuries are within your workplace, and you need to be able to put systems in place to help prevent them first and foremost, and if not, really mitigate them. And you have to have policies and programs that are trained, that are understood, and you need to demonstrate that the training has happened and that it has been understood. It's never enough to say, we have the program. The question is, how do you know it's working for you? So keep in mind that when we're used to having a very prescriptive outline on how to do things, that doesn't come to life for us in OHS. We are given the mandate, and it's up to each one of us to go in and make that mandate come to life and be able to demonstrate how we've done that. So keep that in the back of your mind as you're going through the course and as you're doing the assignments. And why it's important to share that with you is because the scope of thought that you can put into this, the be big, be broad, and really take to heart that you are putting together these programs for employee health and safety, and you're doing it to prevent any and all injuries at all times. And you're going to learn a lot about the responsibilities, the accountabilities, and essentially everybody has a role to play. It doesn't fall just solely on the employer. I mean, it's the people in the company that make every program come to life. And certainly when it comes to OHS, everybody has a role to play. And you'll learn about that. You'll learn about the rights of workers and how to make those rights come to life. And you'll see the evolution into psychological health and safety as well. And ultimately, this will all lead into the emergence of wellness programs. I mean, the word wellness in organizations is fairly new. I was really kickstarting the wellness function way back about 15 years ago. So it's still in its infancy and it's come a long way. But wellness programming is critically important as a preventive tool to any type of injury in the workplace. So we'll have fun with that towards the end of the course. And by the time you complete the course, you'll really have a heightened appreciation of this discipline in human resources. And remember, there can be no recruitment and retention without safety. There can be no succession planning without health and safety. There's no leadership, no development, there's no organizational development. So all of the other disciplines under HR can only come to life when the people are well enough to make them come to life. So without health and safety, we have a lot of talk and we don't really have traction. So make no mistake that OHS is the baseline of all human needs, and all other programs can be built on it. So by the end of the course, you'll have greater knowledge and confidence in your part in making this world a safer place. So we'll do that together. And remember, repeat, repeat, repeat. When something feels like you've repeated it enough, people are just starting to hear it. So stay true to course throughout your journey and your career, and continue to bring safety and health and well-being to life in your respective organizations. So I hope you enjoy the course. That's my little introduction, and I'm looking forward to reading your introductions on the discussion board. So be sure to do that. We get to know each other, participate in the reflections, read each other's reflections. That's part of the course curriculum. You'll see that there's tremendous learning and networking. So piggyback off each other, learn from each other. And I really hope to see you in the Zoom drop-in sessions if you can make it. Have fun, and I'll see you again soon.